Hey guys, my name is Jarrett Wynne. I'm a senior marketing major here at SFA in the College of Business. And today, for this Learning from Leaders scholarship project, I chose to use the Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast by John DeMoss. It was recommended by Charlie Parham. And I chose this specific resource for this project because I really enjoy business podcasts. I think they're very informational, very insightful, and that you can learn a lot from them. And this specific podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire, I think really encompasses everything that this Learning from Leaders project is about. Because in the podcast, you get to hear John Dumas interview all these different entrepreneurs and these different leaders from different fields, and you get to hear, their point of view and their background, their experiences, and you get to hear what they think are the most important habits to create, the most important skills to learn, and the most important steps to take to ensure you a successful career. So I learned a lot of different things from this podcast, but I'd say the number one thing that they talked about that really resonated with me is that you need to take full responsibility of your business and your career. A lot of people have problems taking responsibility, whether it be in their career or their schooling or their relationship. People always want to blame where they're at on something else if they're not, where they want to be in life. People will say, oh, I'm not at this point in my career because of this, or I would have done this by now if it wasn't for where I grew up. When, in the podcast, they talk about you really just need to look yourself in the mirror and adopt that mentality that you're the only person who can hold you back and you're completely responsible for your career and your own success. And once you adopt that mentality, that's when you'll really start to notice that things start to come easier, and you start, actually achieving your goals, and you start progressing forward in your career. Another thing they talk about is that you must be a problem solver in business, because every business that has ever been created and every business that ever will be created in the future is going to have problems. It's inevitable when it comes to business. And the bigger your business or the bigger your role in your business, the bigger the problems are going to be. But you need to take those problems and that adversity, and you need to take it head on, and you need to look at the upside to adversity, because at the end of the day, when you're done with that problem, when you figured it out and you move past it, you're going to be just that much smarter and that much more business savvy. You're going to have that in your memory bank, and you're going to be able to solve that problem easier the next time. You're going to be able to teach others how to solve that problem. So when adversity calls, you got to take it straight as it is, and you got to learn from it. Another thing that really resonated with me that he said is that you are a mix of your 5 best friends. And I think most of us have heard the saying, you are who you hang out with. And I think it's very true. If you're hanging out with, a group of people who aren't really thinking about their future, who aren't taking steps to put themselves in better winning positions, and who aren't doing the things that they need to be successful in your life, then you're going to start adopting some of those same habits and that same mentality, and you're going to start putting yourself in a position to lose. Where on the flip side, if you're hanging out with successful people who are where you want to be at in your career, or people who are working to get to that place the same way you are, people who are creating those winning habits, putting themselves in that winning position, then you're going to start to adopt those same habits and that same mindset, and you're going to start taking pages out of those people's books and learn from them, and you're all just going to grow together. So it's very important the people that you surround yourself with on a daily basis, and the people who you choose to do business with. And one of the things that one of the entrepreneurs on the podcast said was very important for them, and I think it could be helpful for a lot of people, is finding a mentor in your field. And they said it's very important to not only find a mentor, but find one in your field, because a lot of people want to just find the most successful person that they know, and ask them, how'd you get to where you're at? What are some things that I need to do this? An example would be me asking Warren Buffett on how I should start my real estate career. Well, Warren Buffett, he's one of the richest people to ever walk the face of this earth, and he's very business savvy, very smart guy, very hard work. But he's never sold a house in his life. He's never been in real estate. So he might not be the best mentor for me if I'm trying to start a real estate career. So it's very important to find someone who's where you're at, or where you want to be, and who's done the things that you want to accomplish already, and ask them how they got there, and ask them if they can, help show you what you need to do, and what mistakes that they made so you can avoid those mistakes. And another important thing in business is goal setting. When you're running a business or you're running your career, you got to know where you're going. If you're just running blind, then you're not going to make as much progress as you would if you knew what you're trying to accomplish and what time frame you're trying to do that in. And something that goes hand in hand with that, when you're setting goals, is to not get too high during the highs and not get too low during the lows. Say you just crush one of your goals and you're super excited about it, you need to really try to not let that overtake you, because that's when you start thinking, oh man, this is easy, I don't need to work that hard, I'm too good at this. And that's when you might stop some of those habits that got you to crushing that goal. You might tone it back a little bit, and that's just going to stop your progress. And the same thing on the flip side, if things aren't going the way that you want it to, you can't just get super down on yourself, because that's when you're going to start thinking, man, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I'm not cut out for this, maybe I need to find a new career, when that's probably not necessarily true. You're probably just going through a rough patch. Everyone goes through those rough patches. You just need to grind it out. You need to stay level-headed, in that middle zone, no matter if you're doing really well or if you're not doing as well as you want. And one of the last things that I want to talk about that I learned from this podcast is they talked about detaching yourself from the outcome, and really, instead of focusing on the outcome of your business, focusing on the tasks that are going to get you there. Because most of your goals, should be things that you need to work for, things that you're going to have to work hard for. And if you're really just focused on that end goal the whole time, then it's going to be very hard for you to do all the steps necessary to get there. And you might want to skip a few steps. You might want to take it easy one day. You have to fall in love with the process of it, the tasks that are going to build your business and build your career. It's just like going to the gym. You're not just going to go to the gym and all of a sudden bang, have the body that you want. But when you leave the gym, most people feel like, yeah, I just did that. Like I feel you feel good about yourself for doing it. You need to feel that same way about doing tasks in your career and in your business. When you do that should give you more confidence, knowing that that day you took every single step, you did every single thing that you're supposed to do. That's gonna help you achieve your goals in the future, even though you might not have got there now, but you're doing everything that's gonna get you there. And so those were the most important things that I got from these podcasts. Thank you guys for watching. If you could please like and share this video, it'll help me out a lot. The more likes and shares I get, the higher chance I have of winning this competition.